Welcome back to social science class, and today we will start with history class 9 chapter number 2, socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. This chapter we will study in two different parts. The first part will be the word socialism. It was introduced in the European countries, the background of the socialism, who were its propounders, as well as their ideologies. In the second part of this chapter, we will come through, due to the introduction of socialism, the various revolutionary activities occurred, among them 1905 Revolution, February Revolution, October Revolution, formation of USSR, and at the end of the chapter, we will do the Stalin and the Russia under Stalin. We will begin the chapter with the age of social changes. In the previous chapter, you have read about the French Revolution and its impact on the society of France and the whole world. The French Revolution opened up the possibility of creating a dramatic change in the structure of a society. People started discussing these changes in other parts of the world too. In Europe itself, society was divided into three groups: liberals, radicals, and conservatives. Now, who were liberals? Liberals wanted to bring a change in the society. Liberals had a secular approach, that is, a nation which tolerated all religions. During that period, European states usually discriminated in favor of one religion or another. Britain favored the Church of England, Austria, and Spain favored the Catholic Church. Liberals opposed the uncontrolled power of dynamic rulers. They wanted to safeguard the rights of individuals against government. So, they argued for a representative elected parliamentary government. They also wanted to have an independent judiciary to interpret laws. However, they were not Democrats. They did not believe in universal adult franchise, that is, the right of every citizen to vote. They felt that only the holding a property mainly had the right to vote. They also did not want the voting rights to be given to women. The second category was of radicals. Radicals were another group of people who wanted a change in the society. They wanted a nation in which government was based on the majority of the country's population. Some of the radicals were in favor of women's suffragette movement. Unlike liberals, they opposed the privileges of the great landowners and wealthy factory owners. They favored ownership of private property but were against concentration of wealth in a few hands. The third were the conservatives. This group was against radicals and liberals. Before the French Revolution, they were against any kind of transformation in the society. But after the French Revolution, they had opened their minds to the need for change. And by the 19th century, they realized that some changes were inevitable, but they were of the opinion that past should be respected and changes should be brought through the slow process. In the meantime, the Industrial Revolution and the social changes occurred in Europe. This was a time of economic and social change. Due to the introduction of the Industrial Revolution, which gave rise to capitalism as a system of economy, the big industries producing goods at a mass scale and at cheap rates converted the workers into mere wage earners, while the factory owners made huge profits and amassed a lot of wealth. The capitalist owned the means of production and managed the industrial units. The workers were not only low paid, but they also had no share in the industrial management, and sufferance and exploitation at the hands of capitalists became their lot. In the meantime, some liberals and radicals wanted revolution which could end all kind of government establishment in Europe in 1815. Let us see the difference between capitalism and socialism. Capitalism is an economic system where the means of production are owned by the private individuals. On the other hand, in the socialism, the means of production, such as money and other forms of capital, are owned by the state or public. Under capitalism, companies live by the profit motive. They exist to make money, and all companies have owners and managers. Under socialist system, everyone works for wealth that is in turn distributed to everyone. The capitalism is the government's job by enforcing laws and regulations to make sure there is a level playing field for privately run companies. And under socialism, the government decides how much wealth is distributed among the people and they provide for the people. So, how the socialism existed in Europe? Socialism was a well known body of ideas by the mid 19th century in Europe. Socialists were against private property and saw it as the root of all social ills of the time. They wanted to change it and campaigned for it. Robert Owen sought to build a cooperative community called the New Harmony in Indiana in USA. Louis Blanc, he wanted the government to encourage cooperatives and replace capitalist enterprises. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, they added other ideas to this body of argument. According to Marx, industrial society was capitalist who owned the capital invested in factories and the profit of capitalists were produced by workers. Capitalism and the rule of private property were overthrown. Marx believed that a communist society was the natural society of the future. How the socialism got the support? Socialism was supported with various organizations which were which were established. By the 1870s, socialist ideas spread through Europe and they formed an international body named the Second International. Various associations were formed by the workers in Germany and England to fight for better living and working conditions. The Labour Party was formed in Britain and the Socialist Party was formed in France, and they were formed by the socialist and the trade unionists by 1905. In Germany, these associations worked closely with Social Democratic Party SPD and helped it to win the parliamentary seats. Now let's move to the second part of the chapter, that is the Russian Revolution. In the October Revolution of 1917, socialists took over the government in Russia. The fall of monarchy in February 1917 and the events of October were termed as the Russian Revolution. What were the various circumstances which created such a revolution? There were many reasons, many causes. Here we will explain the five important causes which were responsible for the Russian Revolution. The first cause is the Russian Empire in 1914. Second, economy and society of Russia during that time. Third, socialism in Russia also became one of the reason for the Russian Revolution. Fourth, a turbulent time, the event of 1905 revolution, which is also referred as Bloody Sunday. And the fifth cause, the First World War and the Russian Empire. Now let us explain these causes in detail. The Russian Empire in 1914. In 1914, Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia and its empire. Beside the territory around Moscow, the Russian Empire included current day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. It stretched to the Pacific and comprised today's Central Asian states as well as the Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. The majority religions was Russian Orthodox Christianity, which had gone out of the Greek Orthodox Church, but the empire also included Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and Buddhists. At that time, the social condition was very different in Russia because the European countries had undergone important social changes during the 19th century, and the society was divided into two classes, the privileged and the non privileged people. The privileged class, it comprised of prosperous and influential people who had all the political and other rights. And the non-privileged people, it consisted of the farmers and workers who formed about 90% of the Russian population. And they had to work hard to meet their both ends and had to bear the barbarities of the privileged classes. The Tsar Nicholas II was the emperor of Russia during 1914. You can see the expansion of the Russian Empire in Europe in 1914. The second cause comes economy and society during the Russian Empire. At the beginning of the 20th century, Russian Empire was dominated by agriculturalists who used to cultivate for the market as well as for their own needs. St. Petersburg and Moscow were prominent industrial areas, and craftsmen undertook much of the production, but the large factories existed alongside the craft workshops. In 1890s, more factories were set up after and foreign investment and in industries increased. Large factories were supervised by the government to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. Workers were divided workers were divided in social groups. They were also divided by their skills. Like some had strong links with the villages from which they came, and others had settled in cities permanently. And the workers were divided by skill as the metal work of the St. Petersburg recalled the metal workers considered themselves the aristocrats among the other workers, and their occupations demanded more training and skill. Despite division, workers united to stop work when they disagreed with employers about dismissal or work conditions. Peasants cultivated most of the land, but the nobility, the crown, and the Orthodox Church owned large properties. Nobles got power and position through their services to the Tsar. In Russia, peasants wanted the land of the nobles and their commune. Commune were the mir who divided the land according to the needs of the individual families.